All right, so I have a problem. All my chests in here are pretty much all full. I've even put chests over here that are full. I'm just collecting a lot of resources now as we're building a lot more and bigger, and I need some storage and I need to expand it. So my thought is I'm just going to break down this little table right here, and we are going to make a basement. And that's where I'm going to expand my storage into. So it's not going to be like super big or like a long-term permanent large storage solution, but I think it would work for now just to build something down here that is a bit bigger and also has a bit more room here. So I think something like that would work. I'll just put some trapdoors along the edge so you can just walk down here and get that all done. So let's dig out all this space down here, and then we can start designing like a really cool little storage room. All right, so we went ahead and dug out a little basement here, and then I laid out sort of how I want the chest to be. I'm just gonna have little like alleyways that come in here, and it's just gonna give the storage room a little bit of depth. And then I think I'm gonna go around 5 chests high like that. And I think for the walls, I'm going to do green terracotta to match the house above. I used green terracotta for the walls there. And then I'll do maybe a little bit of overgrowth, some leaves, mossy floor. And I think over here, maybe I'll put some like crafting blocks, like crafting table and stone cutter, anvil, etc. And then in the middle will just be like a nice open space. So let's knock that out and get this done. All right. This area down here is pretty much all completed. I just have to move all my items down here. But this is sort of how I'm going to be doing it. I have signs in here as well that I can put, like wood would all go in here, and then maybe all the stone items would go in here. I could also have one that's like colors. So you would have like concrete, wool, terracotta, stuff like that. And yeah, then over here I could do miscellaneous. So yeah, there's plenty of space in here that should last me a good long time, and I think it looks pretty cool. I will probably add more things into here, like details and plants and I don't know, decorations. But yeah, this is the idea. I think it looks pretty cool. I hope you like it. So yeah, next I am going to just try to move everything in here so I can start functioning a little bit better. It's been a little bit difficult. I just have too many items right now. So I'm going to get organized, and then we're going to start on our next build. All right, so I have the storage room all completed, all my items in here, all organized. It took a bit of time, but now I am much happier and much more organized. I don't have any warped nylium, and I want to use warped wood for my next build. So I'm going to go to the nether and find a warped biome and get some blocks, and then bring them back and then harvest a ton of warped. I also am going to need more black stone, and I think I'm going to need a bunch of dark oak as well. So let's go get that done, and then we can start on our next build. All right, I found a warped forest. It wasn't too far away from my spawn, and now we're just going to gather some materials and get back to our base. I'm definitely not going to gather all my materials here. I just want a lot of this warped nylium, because then I can grow an infinite amount of trees. The other thing that I think I will probably use for my build is the shroom lights. Shroom lights would really make like a spooky window. So I think that'll be what I use in my mansion build. So my donkey suffocated in a wall. So I decided to get a new one and breed it with that horse to get a bit of a faster meal. Once I have shulker boxes, I won't need a meal as much for storage. Wait, hang on. Does a meal? Oh, I didn't put a chest on this one. I was like, why doesn't it have storage? But yeah, once I have shulker boxes, I won't need the storage on a meal, and I will just go to a super fast horse that I will have to breed up. That one over there has like 13.5 speed or something, which is really nice. But I'm gonna go ahead and name this meal, and hopefully this one doesn't die. And I'm going to name it Second Chance because, you know, I have a second chance to not let this one die. I'm not sure what happened, but sometimes if I don't bring a lead with me, I'll just dig a 2x2 hole. And one time I did that, and I guess a 2x2 is not big enough because I came back and there was a saddle. So I've learned my lesson. take a lead with you, or dig a 3x3 hole. So I've also been grinding some warped wood over here, and I think we have enough at least to get started. So I'm just gonna get some of this warped wood as well as the shroom lights, and I'm gonna fill up my donkey with some deep slate and some tuff and some other blocks that I need, and then we're gonna head off to the witch farm and start the build. Alright, we got a bunch of our materials all over here in chests ready for some building. And also I did add a little creeper farm on top of the witch farm. Everything goes into the same thing. That way I just get a little bit of extra gunpowder from this farm. And I'm now going to start a build that covers this all up. But before I do that, I think I'm going to do a little bit of terraforming. I want to even out the land, cover up this swampy area right here, maybe clear out some of the trees over here, and I'm just going to flatten it all out, and then we'll start with the layout of the foundation. Alright, so in classic map fashion, I cleared all this land, made it pretty flat. I'll come back in here and decorate it all later. And then I went ahead and laid out the foundation for what I think I want the mansion to be. Now the foundation is probably going to look a little bit bigger than what it's actually going to be, because I think I want to do like a wraparound porch on like 3 sides. But I also want it big enough so that when I come in the front door, I can do some type of cool interior with like a stairway inside here. And inside is where I'll also store all the blocks from the witch farm. So yeah, I'm kind of going big, but I think it'll be pretty cool. All right, before we get started on the build, I thought I'd go through the process that I'm going to be using for the build, or at least what I want to do so far. I might have some changes later on. So I'm thinking I'm going to use a tuff here for the base with maybe a little bit of deep slate. Now this is cobbled deep slate. I don't have regular deep slate, which is probably what I would use. And then I'm thinking I'll do this on the roof, this sort of gradient, like it goes from deep slate, just regular cobbled, to the tile. And then you have some cracked and regular deep slate bricks. And then over here we have warped warp blocks, stripped warped stem, and cut copper blocks. I think that'll be pretty cool. It will add quite a bit of highlight in the build, make it sort of pop. So that's sort of what I'm planning. I will probably add more blocks in as I go along, but that's the step that I have so far. So now I'm going to start laying out the build. Alright, so the first stage of this build is done. I have it laid out pretty well. And it might look like a little bit of a mess, but I like to lay out the corners of the walls, and then I like to build the roof first, or at least the roof shapes. So you can see there's a main section here in the middle, and then 2 identical sections on each side. And then we have like a porch in the front here, and then in the back there's some more roofs that are not quite as symmetrical. I know it looks like a mess, but I will connect all of those together and it will make more sense a little bit later. But I'm really happy with how it's turning out. I think it's going to be quite a big project, but as per usual, I'm having a lot of fun doing this. And now the next step that I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill all the roof in with all the rest of the deep slate. That way we can sort of see what's happening. I'll bring you back and then we'll start on the wall sections. So I'm just going to let you into a little bit of my build process. So I always lay my roofs out like this, where each end is done. And then all I have to do is come back in here and fill in between both sides. Now this one right here is not going to connect quite the same, but I'm just going to run it to the end. And any of the others, I just like to connect it after I have the outline. Then once we're done with one layer, you can just come down and start on the next layer. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish out filling out all of these roofs yet. All right, the roof is now on and I'm pretty happy with it. I'll probably come back in and add some texturing later, or some more texturing and fix the texturing because it was just kind of placed on there. But I'm really happy with the shape. And now the next step is to fill in the walls and add the places for the windows. I think the main block is definitely just going to be this warped, but then I can come in here and add, let's see here, add a window right here. And then I'll just add a little bit of this texturing and make it look a little bit weathered. I think that's sort of the goal by adding a couple of these blocks, and then you can add a bit of copper in here and just keep playing around with it until it looks nice. I'm not trying to shade it per se, but really just trying to give it a bit of a weathering effect and make it a little bit less boring than just using only this warped planks. So I'm just gonna go ahead and work on continuing to fill out all of these walls. It's gonna be a bit of a process, but I find it pretty relaxing and actually really enjoyable to work on. All right, so I put the walls all in and left some rough shapes for the windows. I will now go ahead and do one of the window designs. And then I'm gonna do a pretty basic window design using mostly dark oak for like the trim stuff. And then I also have some shroom lights that I want to use. And then I also think I want to use some nether bricks, maybe some nether brick walls. I think that would be cool. So I'm going to go ahead and work on building out one of these windows, and then we'll do that on the rest of the windows. All right, so to start out with, I think I want to use these walls as sort of like a trim on each side. And then I think I'm just gonna put like some windowsills in here. And then I'm also going to put something up here like that on either side. And then we can also put some trapdoors coming down each side to sort of, you know, finish it out and make it all dark oak. And then I think I'll put another section of walls like that in the middle. And then on the back here is where I'm going to pop the shroom lights. So I'm just going to do 3 shroom lights like this the whole way up to the top. That gives it a really nice glow, you know, without actually having to make clear windows or anything like that. I really like that style of window when you don't want the interior to actually be showing. This is kind of like a great spooky little vibe here. So next part that I want to do here is I want to put like a stair like that on either side. Actually, that's not good enough. Come back a little further, something like that. Then maybe a stair in the middle and a stair on that side. And then I'm also going to put like a slab like that and fence gates right here. It's pretty simple, but I like it. So let's get some dark oak trapdoors. We can put them on the bottom, and that's a pretty nice window. Let me look at it from a distance here to make sure it looks good. Yeah, I like it. That's nice. So now I'm going to do this style of windows on the rest of the build. Nothing too fancy, but we'll get it looking nice. All right, that is looking really cool. I am really happy with how this is turning out. I also added a little tower on the top left side to make it not feel so symmetrical. But now the next part is I want to do quite a bit of detailing using a bunch of wood just to make it really come alive and feel amazing. And then of course, we're also going to be doing the interior after that. So let's jump into a time lapse and get the outside all detailed. And that there is a really nice mansion. I am really happy with how that turned out. I know I say I'm happy with the build a lot, but this one is really turning out great. Now we're gonna just head inside and start some of the interior process. I will be coming back to the outside later on. I want to add some cool details and landscaping around the outside, but I want to just start laying some things out right now inside. I'm going to start by just laying out this dark oak floor, and then I'm going to lay out a staircase as well as a storage system for all the drops from the witch farm. Whenever I do interiors, I always like to start by just laying out the floors and the stairs before I do too much detailing, and that way I can get the layout to actually work well. So I think I'm happy with this, and then you can come over here, underneath here, and this is where all of the witch farm drops will be. There is 7 of them for the 7 different types of drops. And then this is kind of messy back here, but I'm gonna have water streams bringing up them individually sorted into each single one, and things like redstone will get crafted into blocks. That way it takes way less storage. So that's what's happening. I think this is pretty cool. I will probably make really high ceilings and maybe like a really big chandelier hanging in the middle. I kind of want to keep it sort of spooky. So I'm going to keep the inside of these windows like this. I'll just do some like dark oak trim around it to make it look nice. And I think I'm going to continue to use this pattern. I think it looks pretty cool. I'll also be using a lot of dark oak trim to make it feel really dark and sort of spooky vibes. So now I'm going to get back to the large process of trying to lay out the rest of this build, especially up in the top in the ceiling there. So let's get to it. After quite a bit of work, we now have this interior all blocked out. You can see we got the ceilings done as well as the walls. So the next part is going to be detailing everything, detailing windows, adding railings here, doing just a lot of work yet to this. I really want to put a really massive chandelier right here in the center that hangs right down. So that'll also look pretty cool. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this is turning out. And let's keep going. All right, are you ready for the grand reveal? Walk inside the door, and there we have the beautiful staircases on either side. Now up here, I didn't put anything yet. If you have any ideas of something I should build up here, let me know. I'm thinking possibly some brewing. I could do some auto brewers or something on either side. Kind of would fit the theme of this whole build. You know, it's a witch farm, brewing, witches, I don't know. And then over here, I don't have anything here either. I did, you know, like finish the walls and everything, which I think looks pretty cool, but I do have a lot of space for other things. And then over here, I have everything being sorted all into these chests, which I will show you the process that I got to get everything done here. The redstone and the glowstone gets auto crafted, which is just such a fantastic thing because this farm spits out so much redstone. Now I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what's below, and you're not allowed to judge me because it all works, all right? But my redstone is not beautiful at all. So yeah, just lay your eyes on this monstrosity right here. So basically I built a simple auto sorter right up here to sort everything, and then I used water streams to take it up. But I did need to do some crafters here, and then I also needed to do this like dispenser doohickey thing. And yeah, it's pretty ugly, but it works perfectly. I've not had any issues with it whatsoever. Those witches are so loud. But yeah, it works absolutely perfectly. So, you know, it's not pretty, but this is the last time you'll ever have to see it. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out, and I can just come over here at any time and grab any of these resources. And once I have shulker boxes, I might put a shulker box loader on the bottom. Not sure yet. We'll see what happens, but I think it worked out pretty nice. Now on the outside, there is quite a bit here to do. I'm going to do quite a bit of terraforming and adding a lot of like dirt patches, maybe even some soul soil. I also want to build some dead trees, maybe on either side. Now that being said, I'm not going to go too crazy with the landscape because I have a great idea that once the Pale Garden stuff releases, I might turn this into something really, really epic. So I'll do some cool trees, just some small dead style trees, some dead bushes, maybe a cool path and everything else. But yeah, I'm not going to go too crazy because I do have future plans whenever the update allows us to use all of the Pale Garden blocks, because that would really fit with this swampy vibe. This build does really look great from all angles, and I have said it once and I'll say it again, I'm really, really happy with how it's turning out. So yeah, I will go ahead and start doing some terrain, and then you can see the final product. And there we have it. The witch farm build is now completed. I cleaned up the terrain a little bit, added some grass, made sure to also spawn proof everything, that way we could continue to use this as a witch farm. And you can see it's becoming night now, and this is when it really shines. All the windows shine brightly at night, and it really takes on another level of a build. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll finish up this video with some beautiful shots of the build.